Procedure issue I have relates to the statement that you said the Minister for Regional Cooperation was still carefully putting together. Mr. Speaker, you know, we have invested money in doing roads linking us to Eastern DRC. You also know, Mr. Speaker, that we are paying almost $1 trillion shilling to DRC because of stealing its gold. We've been paying money in the budget. I am only requesting, if you may find the pleasure, Mr. Speaker, in asking the Minister for Regional Cooperation to update us on especially the investment we have made, which makes sense, especially trade. And then finally, Mr. Speaker, the banning of our embassy, as you say, the Minister will explain. I have raised the issues here of the reckless conduct of our CDF. The other day he spoke in defense of, in support of M23, and we nearly got chased from Congo, our military who is fighting there. Can you, Mr. Speaker, also ask defense to come here and explain? Because these things were bound to happen. When you're talking about it, some MPs thought we were joking. The way he was mocking Congo. The reckless nature of the CDF, the trouble that it has started causing Uganda, because that banning of our embassy is partly because of his tongue. Can you, Mr. Speaker, procedurally ask defense to come here and explain if now they have contained his tongue? Because sooner than later you'll have a problem either with Khartoum, with Ethiopia. The other it was Kenya. Now they are banning our embassies our embassy in Congo.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable. To begin with, tomorrow we are getting a statement, and I can see your submission was more or less debating the statement which we're expecting tomorrow. So let's first get a statement tomorrow, okay? Then if there are any clarifications from government, they'll be made here. They'll be made. Number two, really, I think it will be unfair for me to ask the Minister of Foreign Affairs to come and update government on roads we are doing in DRC, on payments, when these roads and their funding was approved by us as Parliament, and there is a sectoral committee in charge. Honourable colleagues, we've received the 2 reports. Our members of the committee are constrained to debate the same. So I'm just going to allow me, because these are our findings, we shouldn't take, okay, that long. So I'll start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and I'm picking you, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I've picked you. You follow yourselves in that order.
Thank you. Right.
Okay. What we do, I hope Clerk has helped me to note, we can mix. Okay? Yes, let's try to mix.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'd like to thank the Chair for the report and for some of the good recommendations. I know this report is only not concerning Luzira. Some of the things he has mentioned are happening even elsewhere. And I know the committee has even ever moved to other prisons and saw what is happening there. So some of the recommendations should be taken up for action, but most commonly, the congestion is almost everywhere in all the prisons in the country. Then secondly, the prolonged pre-trial detention. Even the Attorney General, I think, had already mentioned about it. So it's a very, very big concern that prisoners stay long when they are not tried, and also that contributes to the congestion. So I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, on these issues, I saw the reaction. There is a matter which has been settled, okay, from what I see, because the majority report touched it and the minority report didn't didn't disagree. There had been perceived a situation that Besigyes is denied food. I think that's a settled matter now. He appointed 3 people who can take for him non-cooked food. If you are not among those 3, because the public should know, because you know they can go to the Zira carrying food and all that. If you are not among those 3 who were nominated by Besigyes, your food won't be allowed in. And the same applies to Mr. Obed, Haj Obed Kamrege. I think that's a settled matter. Honorable Jonathan, on that, because I wanted us to shape our issues very well. We know the issues which were raised here.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to confirm that position, that any member of the public that would like to support Dr. Besigyes is free as long as the food goes through those 3.
Okay.
Because as you know, once you're in prison, you are limited and support is required. So it is not like the rest should not. But it should also be on the record initially that the main point that was raised here was that Dr. Besigyes was denied food. It is true, he confirmed to us that when he went to prison at first, he was allowed to access his own food and prepare. Then at some point, the prisons changed the rules and said, we will not allow you to prepare your own food. Mm-hmm. What we shall allow is that you give us money and we buy for you from the canteen, the staff canteen, or you send us outside and we buy for you. Now that is linked to his fear. So he refused to eat what ordinarily would be a hunger strike. And the prisons eventually reconciled and agreed that yes, you can now resume and get your supplies, but because you have accused us that you are not safe here, we want 3 people to be the one to bring for you food. So that matter has been settled, although it was a concern.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Christine.
Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I think it is important for this country to get the truth. I was among the people who went to Rizira. The reason is given by Dr. Besigyes for not eating food. And the prison is also answered. They said they were receiving many visitors bringing food to Dr. Besigyes. And they were worried. So what they said, it was just an oversight. It was a point of agreement on whether they should continue bringing food for Dr. Besigyes or he buys food from the prison canteen. And because they wanted to safeguard his life, they said as prisoners, we are not going to allow all these people whom we do not trust to bring food for Dr. Besigyes. So the only idea was for him to buy food from their safe stores. So Dr. Besigyes was also adamant. He said, I cannot trust the jailer. Therefore, I can only designate my person who will be supplying me with the food. That was what he said. But for you to say that they were forcing him to buy food from the prison, it was not true. I think we need to tell Ugandans the truth, other than exciting the nation. This is what, and Right Honorable Speaker, the gentleman was very honest. Even what our colleagues from opposition were pushing him to say otherwise, Dr. Besigyes was honorable enough to tell the committee the truth and the whole truth. Even the issue of his staying in a single room, it is not true. These are people just like those of you who have rented. You have an apartment, and one of you staying here, another one here. It is not true that he's even staying in one room and he's put alone there. Even access to worship, he gets even a bishop to attend to him religiously. So I think it is important to tell the country the truth.
Thank you. But Rook, honorable colleagues, me, I see apart from the tone, you presented the same. Apart from the tone, okay? Yeah, the only issue which I had there, which Honorable Wakori said, was it is being insinuated that Besigyes was being forced to buy food from the canteen. But from the records I have, I interacted with members on both sides, opposition and NRM, who went to Ruzira. You're corroborating information, and I think we are moving very well. Okay, we are moving very well on these issues. Honorable Christine, then Honorable Nwagawa.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity.
I'm picking from here and here, so but I remember.
Right Honorable, I want to appreciate government on a note that Dr. Besigyes made a statement on improvement in the conditions in prison. It means that the effort of Parliament has been considered. I now want to support also one particular recommendation on the removal of the bucket system. And I want to agree that in some of our areas, the bucket system is no longer there. How I pray that it cuts across the country. And also to thank the prison leadership for the better handling techniques. Because surely, when we look at this situation, where Dr. Besigyes is allowed to see his personal doctor on daily basis, whenever necessary. I am actually giving a reference that where he is allowed to see his personal doctor, that is okay, because there is no aspect of imposing doctors on him. So my prayer, Right Honorable, is that the improvement in the conditions in Luzira prisons should cut across the entire country in relation to the provision of water services. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Nwagaba.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I will respond to the two reports and begin with the one from the Attorney General. I would invite the Attorney General to reread Article 129 of the Constitution and see whether the reference to subordinate courts includes the reference to military courts or military tribunals as they are called, vis-a-vis Article 210 of the Constitution. And if you applied both the strict interpretation rule and the jus de generis rule, whether you would import the provisions of Article 210 to Article 129. And I will respectfully disagree with you that military courts are envisaged as subordinate courts under Article 129. Secondly, in respect of police bond, well, thank you for the clarification, but you need to be very clear and advise the policemen who have now taken the presidential directive on banning giving of bonds, because the bond is giving of bond is a discretion. It's a discretion on the police, and you know the time, the constitutional time frame of bringing suspects to courts, the weaknesses in investigations and the like. So you must be very clear that yes, if you are to deny a person bond, make sure that you produce that person in the court within 48 hours. Lastly, on the report of both the minority and the majority report of the Human Rights Committee, I believe they both agree, but essentially they both agree, but there are two areas. One, the idea of solitary confinement of a prisoner, especially who is on remand, because solitary confinement is literally a punishment. It is actually serving a sentence. So the solitary confinement of a prisoner on remand, to me, is illegal. It amounts to torture and must be condemned. And the prison officers must be cautioned and told in an explicit terms, they should not be confining a prisoner who is on remand to solitary confinement. Two, and lastly, wrong pre-trial remands. Mr. Speaker, we have allocated substantial monies to the judiciary. And actually the judiciary has over-decentralized I even pity some of the recruited judicial officers who have been posted to sub-counties without any facilities. But unfortunately, the office of the DPP, which deals with people in the prisons, has not been given matching resources to recruit staff. And this is an area that the Attorney General and the Minister of Finance should take it upon themselves. Either we halt the further expansion of the judiciary until we match the human resources of the office of the DPP, or do away with the judiciary in some of the areas. Because part of the explanation why we have prisoners on remand for these long periods is largely because the office of the DPP is not as facilitated as the judiciary. But we also need to caution the judiciary. There are provisions in the Constitution where you can give people, you can raise people on their own cognizance after they have spent the mandatory period in the prison without trial. The judiciary is not using that opportunity, is not using that discretion. We really need to cut down the numbers of prisoners on remand in a prison who have not been tried. Person being in the prison for 28 years, honestly, and then you sentence him after? No. We need something to be done, Mr. Speaker, sir.
But by the way, on that issue, I forgot. I don't know. Well, the presiding officer had already pronounced that the Attorney General responds. But I think these are some of the issues which the committee should go and look at. For example, someone in prison for 28 years on remand, it just shook me. And it can happen to any of us. It can happen 28 years, I don't know which crime he would have committed. I don't know which sentence that person will get. Procedurally, let me get the opinion of my colleagues here. Procedurally, I'm still just trying to get an opinion of the colleagues. No, mine which I'm on is different. I'm on someone who is in prison for 28 years. You're talking of Besigyes who went there yesterday. We are talking of 28 years. Okay? So, Honorable Chair rules. Honorable Chair rules. On that same person of 28 years?
He's not in for 28 years just on remand. He has never appeared in court.
For 28 years?
Because you can be on remand when you are appearing in court. But this very one, there are actually two. One has been there for 28, another one 16 years, and both of them have never appeared in court. And they're just waiting for the minister's order.
Now, because you see why, yes, Attorney General before Chairman rules, so that I seek my guidance on this.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. When we appeared before the Committee of Human Rights earlier today, I appeared together with the Commissioner General of Prisons, and some of these issues were raised. We agreed that we are going to take 2 days, engage with the leadership of prisons and get all the necessary information and see the next step. Either ask for an automatic release or advise accordingly. But in 2 days, we'll be able to get
so
back
if you're asking for 2 days,
yes.
If you've agreed upon 2 days, can you update the House on Tuesday?
Yes.
Over the same?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
No.
Mr. Speaker.
No, honorable colleagues, let us take it as if, no, let us not take it as if the minister has gotten only 2. No, because this came from the House itself. I'm sure they must have given more information, and there are more people. Okay?
Mr. Speaker, so among the issues they raised, there were some who have been there awaiting ministers' orders. Those who are deemed mentally, and they have been waiting. So, but now we need to engage with the commissioner, okay?
Honorable colleagues, no, so this matter, Honorable Katunta, I had wanted your guidance, but with the submission of the Attorney General, I've gotten a true picture.
Yes.
The Attorney General has said, the Attorney General has said they've agreed that within 2 days they should sort this matter. Okay? And I'm saying 2 days, start tomorrow and Thursday. They even have an allowance of Friday and Monday. Then on Tuesday, the coming Tuesday, the Attorney General updates the House on the status of prisoners of that category and what they've done about it. And then we can carry it from there.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker.
Can we continue with the debate? Honourable Katuntu.
I don't, as you know, I don't always rise up on such issues. Right Honourable Speaker, we seem to be dealing with a systematic problem. It's not about Luzira. Public prosecution. Because if you have investigated a matter and you have a suspect or can accused and you have not prosecuted him for 20 years, 20 years, this is not investigation, including a judicial commission of inquiry. It is not only illegal, it is certainly unconstitutional. Because the Constitution, Right Honourable Speaker, demands for a fair, speedy trial. It's a constitutional command. How can 20, somebody has been arrested and is now begging to be prosecuted. And he begs for 20 years. Please prosecute me. Please prosecute for 20 years. We cannot sit here as legislators. Not these guys who put on widgets as judges to say they are dispensing a system of justice which keeps somebody in jail for 20 years without a due process of the law. So, Right Honourable Speaker, as the Attorney General comes after the days you've given him, I think he should be able to look at the entire, and he gives us statistics. I thank you, Right Honourable.
Attorney General, Honourable colleagues, we are diverting our debate. We have been on an issue, so let's remain focused. Attorney General.
Right Honourable Speaker, this, in light with what my senior Honourable Katuntu has said, the Commissioner General for Prisons has shared a list already. So we are going to look at it.
Across the whole country?
Yes, across the whole country.
Okay.
And I think that should also go a long way in answering what Honourable Dur was saying earlier.
Thank you.
We will report back on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But Honourable Attorney General, as we report back, someone slept on a job, and which resulted into very serious and bad consequences. Huh? It's unacceptable. 28 years? Number one, who is keeping that prisoner? If you have someone for 28
Today is doctor. Tomorrow is somebody else. I would like to tell you that for us as mothers, it is so painful, especially the minority report pointed out at doctor going on hunger strike. Is very, very painful. His brother, his younger brother, died after prison. So he has all the fear for being poisoned. Why do we deny him food from out? We know that the practice there, yes, it was there. At first he was denied. That was why he had to go on hunger strike. Until then, they open.
Let's go on unsettled issues, because settled issues will drain us.
Yeah. So, at least we are happy that this is now helping us even to solve other problems, other people's problems. At least one time, I even visited Luzira prison and gathered with people from the north to find out that one person was there without proper documentation. How do you allow a person in prison without proper documentation? Then I ask, how did he enter here without proper documentation? So I think that one should also be investigated. I left it out to the legal minds. You know, for us, we are not legal minds. But it is very painful when we take people in detention, in prison. We all want peace. And in order for us to have this peace, justice should just be there. It should be there for all of us.
Thank you, Honorable. Colleagues, you know, Honorable Dur shocked me, so I'm still recovering. And that someone has been in prison more than, I think, the years Honorable Frank Akawi has. Honorable Frank Akawi, are you more than 28? Oh, yes, Honorable Frank Akawi here. And I think Honorable Auma, Heren. And Honorable, you know, it's really shocking. To me, the visit to the prisoners. But then I will ask you, Chairman, also. You have been giving us a report every year on the status of prison. How come you had never seen this? How? Parliament has been here for the last over 28 years.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable. Right Honorable, the record will bail me out. We have constantly raised in our reports the questions of long pre-trial detention. It's on record. This House has made resolutions in respect of this matter.
You see, Chairman, why I'm asking how you present. For example, Honorable Dur has made it very easy for me, and by shocking me, that someone for 28 years. I don't think even Attorney General would hear that someone has been in prison for 28 years. And it goes on as business as usual. But when we do generic reports, okay?
Right Honorable, I am not in the habit of authoring generic reports. Yeah. I am a slave of detail. In all our reports, we have indicated to this House, naming persons, giving the dates on which they were arrested. Biamukama Alifred, arrested on 12th March 1997. The case, murder, mental issue, schizophrenia, the court circuit, Mbarara. If you calculate from 1997 to current date, it gives you 26 years. We have stated, named the specific prisoners. But, Right Honorable Speaker, you were talking about sleeping on the job. Even the Commissioner General of Prisons has constantly reminded the Ministry of Justice and the judiciary. We tasked them every 6 months to write to the judiciary and point out the plight of these prisoners. And they have been doing that consistently.
Anyway, Tuesday, let's look at this matter on Tuesday, extensively, okay? Tuesday. So, Honorable Rita. What's that?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I would like to comment on two things. The first, the Deputy Attorney General's statement that has pointed out the issue of the presidential directive on bail. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue about bail of bond is a two-edged sword. It amazes me that if you owe a moneylender any coin,